Welcome to the Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for No Boys Allowed. Please welcome to the stage your host, Jess Roberts.
Now, Jesse, you know damn well I'm short. How you guys doing? Holy crap. I'm about ready for this kid to be out already. Holy crap. You've never experienced weird fucking feelings until you felt a kid kick you and it felt like your anus was about to fall out. It's so fucking weird. It really is. Then I'm at work and I don't know if his ass is up here like he's telling everyone to kiss it because I work in retail. Like, you know, no. I don't want to do it. I don't. I work at a Rayleigh's and I'm a checker. Okay? I hate people. Now I do. I was scanning this guy's groceries the other day, right? And my mom laughs because she already knows the story. But no, it's hella funny. I was scanning this guy's groceries, and you guys ever have Brie, that fancy cheese? It's like weird fucking cream cheese. Well, anyway, the lids always fall off, right? So I'm sitting there, and I was like, oh, trying to put the lid. I'm like, one of my biggest bitches that this thing never stays on. And I didn't notice it, but my bagger did. And I guess the dad, like, his face just dropped once I said bitch, apparently. And I didn't notice it. I was like, just kept in my own little world. And then at the end, he looks at me and goes, don't you ever cuss in my family again. I was like, I look over, I was like, did I cuss? Because, like, sometimes you don't fucking realize it, right? And she's like, you said bitch. And I was like, but the dictionary says it means complain or grumble, so, like, it's not really a cuss word. Mind you, this kid's fucking 10 years old. You guys remember being 10? I said fuck. I said worse than bitch. I said cunt. I loved it. It's not a good idea to say cunt when you're 10. But it was hilarious. Now I can do it as an adult, and people are like, oh, she's progressive. No. But yeah, he's like, he looks down and he asks his kid if he's okay, and then, like, coddles him. And I'm just like, this is why we have a whole generation of wimps. It has nothing to do with masculinity or femininity. It has to do with parents doing shit like that. Like, my kids cuss. I don't give a fuck. If they're in the car, it's fine. They can sing to the lyrics. They can cuss. That's when they can do it. Or if they get really mad, I'm like, you get like one. Fuck! Feel better? Yeah, actually, I'm like, yeah, it's psychologically proven that when you cuss and you say shit, makes you feel better because you're cursing. Also, people that cuss, we're trustworthy. Apparently, that's what studies say, but I don't know. I never peer-reviewed it. But I trust it more than the Trumpers. And that's the other thing. I work up in Folsom, so it's just Trump City. And it was hella funny because someone came through the line and was like, they discontinued the Mexican pizza. Thanks, Biden. I was like, what? This Taco Bell. Taco Bell. I don't know. It's really fucking weird. The world out there is really weird. This lady got pissed off at me because I didn't bag her groceries the way she wanted it. But here's the thing. Closed mouths don't get fed, bitch. And I don't know. I like a certain amount, but then there's these weird customers that sadly just I want to punch now. It was this really sweet old lady and her daughter, and for the longest time they were the nicest, sweetest. Oh, how cute! Brought me fucking dinner. Yeah, they're racist. It was really weird. It came out in a weird way. There was this lady who was brown, and obviously these folks are white. She comes up and she's like, those people need to kick rocks. They're gypsies. They're this. And I'm like, oh, what fresh hell did you just come out of? And see, I think of these things, and worse, at work, and I have to be careful because I could lose my job. But it's really neat because you have so many interactions with people. We have we have probably about 6 deaf folks that come in. Let me just tell you, it's pretty interesting to watch other folks who don't know sign language try to sign to them. And they like get louder and louder stereotypically, like you would see, what kind of bag would you want? And I'm like, they fucking can't hear you, dude. You could just mouth it. Period. And they would be like, plastic or paper. And I found out this is plastic, which is really neat. I didn't know that. It looks weird though, right? And like plastic. And like, what the fuck? But anyway, yeah, I was talking to one of the ladies this afternoon, and I was cursing with her back and forth, and she's like, "Where did you know this?" And I'm like, "Group homes." Like, and that's true. That's where I learned it. I learned it in group homes. But yeah, so if you can't tell, there is a human growing in here. And you know, one of the things I find absolutely fucking hilarious is that the guys are on this whole masculine trip. You see it on TikTok and Twitter. What the hell is that one dude's name? Oh, God. Andrew Tate, I think. I just call him Taint. But no, he's just like, nobody wants masculine women, and all these other like white dudes and other people are like, yeah. And it's like, you do know that your first boner was inside your mother, right? It is true. I looked it up because I was curious because I'm having a boy. My other son was an adoption, so I didn't know all this stuff. And so I was like, that's a bit Freudian to look that up. Just be like, fuck it. Do baby boys have boners in their mom? Yep. Turns out they do. So that's always interesting. I'll leave you on a weird note. But no Boyz Allowed will be taking a hiatus after tonight. I'm going on what I call my comedy maternity leave. And so this is our final hurrah for the year. So hopefully you guys have one hell of a show coming to you. Our first comic is relatively fresh. Now, I do want to tell you that No Boyz Allowed is a show for ladies and theys from all walks, from beginner to intermediate to absolute killer. And I have an absolute killer as my headliner tonight, so I hope you guys enjoy. But the first comic that I'm going to bring up is a newcomer, and her name is Miss Rebecca Ward. So let's give her a nice warm welcome.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you for the show and you guys and everything. I'll tell you a little about myself. My name is Rebecca Ward. You probably know my parents, maternity and psychiatric. So we got any married people here tonight? You know, people in love? You could be both. Come on, right? Oh, yay. You know, when I got engaged, I got a really cool engagement ring. It feels really strange, though, when you first start wearing an engagement ring. You know, it keeps getting in the way of dating. So we got married. I'm part Indian, but my husband isn't. So every time we play Monopoly, he tries to get me drunk and steal my properties a little bit at a time. And I've been hearing about the border crossing, and you know, I think we should have closed the border in 1491. Don't you think so? I think things would have gone a different way if we'd done that. And when we were married, I got divorced. My ex works for Comcast. And I told him he needs to tell people he works for Halliburton so they don't hate him as much. But we had, I was working for Comcast. We had 3 boys. All 3 of my boys weighed more than 9 pounds each when they were born. And kids have no idea what pain is like. My son came to me and said, "Mom, I got a splinter in my thumb. You ever felt anything as painful as a splinter in your thumb?" And I was like, was it a 9-pound, 8-ounce splinter? Was it 11 days late coming out of you? You spend 3 hours trying to push it out of you? No, I don't think so. And yeah, so I moved here from San Francisco, and when I was living in San Francisco, I had a lot of really strange thoughts. Do you suppose anybody at NASA has ever been fired for staring off into space? You ever think of something really funny and you're the only one that thinks it's funny? Nobody else does. I call that my act. Around San Francisco, we have a small town called Foster City. And I was wondering, do you think people in Foster City go outside and yell, "You're not my real city"? I saw on the back of a bus, it said, "Now flying nonstop from Oakland to Hawaii." And I thought, I hope so. Oh, did you see on the news a few days ago, maybe a week ago, they at the recycling center, they found a dead body? Isn't that terrible? They should have left it in a compost bin. I am aghast. Oh, yeah. And when I moved to California, I got a really cool car. I had a 65 Dodge Dart. It was really cool. It was a 2-tone rust and primer, and it was mine. I love my car. And now I have a kitty cat. I love my cat. His name is Squeaky, because we got him when he was this little tiny baby. And I'm afraid now, with him being 2 years old, his friends are going to come tease him, and he'll have to say, "They call me Mr. Squeaky." And sometimes I pretend he can talk to me. I'll walk in and say, "Hi." He goes, "Hi." And I said, "Kitty, are you sober or high?" "Hi." Okay, turn off the Bob Marley and hand over the catnip. You're done. All right. But I was drinking coffee earlier, and I am such a coffee addict. I had to go to Coffee Drinkers Anonymous, and they had an open wine bar in the back. It was weird. I was going to so many anonymous meetings, I felt like a victim of identity theft. But I like my coffee like I like my men. I finish them off in the bathroom at Starbucks. So thank you very much. I've been Rebecca Ward.
Rebecca Ward, everybody. You're talking about finding dead bodies in recycling centers. I found one on April Fool's Day. Yeah, it was a cremated body that some homeless dude had robbed from someone else, thinking it was like a jewelry box. And I pick it up because I'm throwing all this shit in the front because he had made a home in my backyard. And so I'm throwing all this shit, and I'm like, wow, what's in this? What tweaker heaven's in here? I fucking open it up. I'm like, like. It was a cremated body. We have a friend in the comedy business named Morty the Mortician. So I called him and I said, "Bro, I'm not giving you no shit. I found a powdered body. I don't know what to fucking do with it. It has a tag. He's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a long story." So I called him and I had to take it to the coroner. I took it to the coroner. This is at the beginning of the fucking pandemic. So all you see is a dude in biohazard outfit getting a gray box from me out of my car. Any conspiracy theorist is like, that's where COVID started. So yeah, and that's a true fucking story. I have a video of it. I have all sorts of stuff. I have like photos of it online. So like, yeah, if anyone ever wonders, I started COVID. I'm sorry. But anyway, the next lovely lady that we have coming up tonight, I absolutely love her. I've known her for years. She is just, when you first see her, you're like, oh, how cute. And then she starts talking, you're like, holy shit, really? And so that's the beautiful part about this next comic. She's going to kind of come at you a little sideways and you'll be like, what the fuck? But that's the fun part of it. So I want you guys to make it really loud for Miss Kelly Brown.
Hello. Hi. My name is Kelly and I'm a witch. Would you like to hear a witch joke? Okay. What did the sign in the witch's parking lot say? No parking, violators will be towed. TOAD. I'm sorry. I'm not really a witch. I'm a librarian. Would you like to hear a librarian joke? Okay, a man walks into a library and asks for the books on paranoia. The librarian whispers, "Shh, they're right behind you." When you're a librarian, you come across all kinds of fun facts. For example, did you know that over 1.85 million children have been diagnosed with AIDS in the sub-Saharan countries of Botswana, Kenya, Malawi, Namibia, Nigeria, Swaziland, and Zimbabwe? It's true. It's true. Who knew there were so many gay babies in Africa? Because I'm a librarian, people think I'm really, really nice and sweet and innocent. But I'm not. I frequently use off-color language. Whenever someone upsets me, I say to myself, "You fucking bitch. Don't fuck with me. I will cut you." I have a mom voice I used to use out loud, though. Get in the car now, or I will cut you. I haven't used my mom voice in forever, though. My kids are all grown up, and I don't think they love me anymore. It could be that I didn't pay enough attention to them growing up, but there were so many other people invested in their care, and I didn't want to interfere. One of those people was their grandmother, my mother-in-law. Bitch. Not only do I frequently use off-color language, I enjoy the occasional risque joke. Would you like to hear one of my favorites? Two tampons met at a pool party. What did they say when they were introduced? Nothing, they were both stuck-up cunts. Not only do I frequently use off-color language and enjoy the occasional risque joke, but I have a very, very healthy sex life. Want to know my secret? I like to do it with younger guys. And I've heard there are at least 10 reasons young guys like to hit this. You want to hear what they are? Good. Number 10, I have a pussy. Number 9, I have a really strong grip. Number 8, I'm not looking for a commitment. Number 7, I'm always so very, very grateful. Number 6, I've been sucking dick since before you were born. I was pretty good at it back then. Number 5, I have a pussy. Number 4, I like to get white girl wasted. My God, I got so drunk last night. I blew a 10. Then I took a breathalyzer test. All right, number 3. Moving along. Number 3, I'm not going to be there when you wake up in the morning. Number 2, no gag reflex. And the number 1 reason young guys are into this, I have a asshole. And that's twice as tight. So twice as nice. I bet you didn't see that one coming, did you? Neither did I. When you're a librarian, people confide in you all the time. Just the other day, this guy was telling me about his girlfriend, how they've been together forever, and how they didn't have sex anymore. And I felt sorry for him. I was like, fuck that bitch. That pussy's yours. You want me to talk to her? After all, she is my sister. I don't have one night stand. I have 2 night stands. Oh God, sorry, I gotta put my glasses back on now. I have absolutely no depth perception without them. All my life I've been told this was 9 inches, so. Speaking of blowjobs, what's the difference between eating corned beef and sucking a dick? Not much. You're the only man that's ever laughed at that joke. Most men are like, what? I don't get it. Women do. All right. Have you ever noticed that people who are cheating tend to divide their activities into categories, like hurricanes? The first category involves holding hands, kissing, long walks in the park, that sort of thing. That category is called "this doesn't really count." The second category is called everything but sex. I know this sounds bad, but it doesn't really count either, because you are reserving the ultimate act of sex, however you define it, for your partner, and you would never cross that line, ever. The third category is when your husband walks in the room and you've got this guy's cock in you. That category is called, oh, fuck. All right. Since this is, since this is No Boys Allowed, I thought I would do something a little different and propose a thought experiment. Okay? There has been a lot of scholarly research on women in comedy. A lot. And the consensus is that promiscuity, since promiscuity is a form of self-deprecating behavior, and self-deprecatory behavior reflects societal norms, that every time I get up here and act promiscuous, I am perpetuating a misogynist myth. I feel really bad about that. It's a lot more laughs, though. I'm actually very serious. Discuss, and we'll talk after. All right. Well, that was it, Jessica. Thank you very much. My name is Kelly. Let's hear it for Jess Roberts.
Kelly Brown, everybody. Who knew? When you said anything but sex, I just thought you figured it was butt sex. Which is really fun to do if you're pregnant out there, by the way. I wouldn't know I'm single because she was talking about a 2-night stand. This is the product of a 2-night stand. I'm not ashamed. I went out with a bang. I don't give a fuck. But she was talking about using her mom voice, right? And I've used my mom voice, but there was one time I couldn't because I was laughing so hard. Now, picture this. It's a shitty car, so there's no AC and it's hot, so I have the windows rolled down. And before my daughter got her name changed to my ex-husband's name when he adopted her, her last name was Hooker. No joke. Her name was Jesselyn Hooker. We're at a stop sign. She's like 1.5, maybe like almost 2. And she's just back there fucking away and everything. And all of a sudden she goes, I'm a hooker. I'm a hooker. She's just yelling this at the top of her lungs. On this side, we have blue-haired old ladies about ready to clutch they motherfucking pearls. And on this side, I have 2 stoners that absolutely have lost their shit. And then there's me in the middle where I want to lose my shit but also clutch my fucking pearls. Because I'm like, these people think I'm whoring out my kid or something. And these guys know better, but are just laughing at these people. And so I'm like, all right, where's the balance? Oh, yeah, roll up the windows. But then we were like burning up for like a minute. I was like, nah, I can't kill my kid over this. Fuck it, you're a hooker, kid. So yeah, no, that's the fun parts of being a parent. You guys doing good? Yeah? Yeah, you're so quiet. It's okay. You don't have to be loud. But I did like the fact that you were one of the only people that laughed on that fucking meat joke. You're very brave because you're in a sea of vagina right now. I'm just saying, for those of you at home that can't see, literally one dude, all women. Oh, and speaking of that, that's the hell of the funny part. I recently changed my name. My name was Jessica Eggleston. I am now Jess Roberts officially, which is really cool because I've been pretty much coming out as non-binary and being that it is. My name change actually came to finalization on National Coming Out Day. How fucking cool is that, right? So I was like, I didn't even realize it was National Coming Out Day till I looked on Facebook because, you know, nobody knows shit unless you look on Facebook these days. I was like, oh shit, it's National Coming. Oh, that's why it makes it so cool. All right. And what else is going to make this night even cooler, though, without my weird-ass stories, is this lovely lady I've had the pleasure of sharing the stage with at Laughs Unlimited before. You guys give it up for the very talented Miss Amy Thompson. Oh, you're coming from the side? All right.
Hey, happy Halloween. Oh, I like this season. I'm really excited too because I found like the best way to scare people. But it just kind of only works with my coworkers. So I work in like a cubicle. We all are in cubicles. And if you want to scare the shit out of a coworker and you work in a cubicle, find a coworker who's just slightly fucking around. Like they're on Amazon, they're not doing spreadsheets. Not like the coworker that's watching porn because they don't give a fuck already. They're unscarable. You just go to that coworker and you just say, hey, what are you doing? You don't have to change your voice. They freak the fuck out. It's been definitely making my days go by faster. I love this season though. I do. Obviously, I'm like a white chick. You know, it's like spooky season, autumn. I love it. You know, I have anxiety. So I'm like scared all year long. But right now it's pumpkin spice anxiety, and I like that. In a few weeks I'll have that peppermint depression, and that'll end the year nice. I'm trying to work on that though. So I've been like just mainlining self-help the last year. And anyone here like familiar or have ever done Talkspace or BetterHelp? What about like Talkspace and BetterHelp? Oh, just me. All right. I'm just trying to get some talk help to end up in a better space. But no, it's hard to afford around drinking problems. I'm single because I got off all the dating apps, and there is nowhere to meet people. And I know when I went off the apps that like I ghosted people, and I've been told that's terrible. That really like it could be traumatizing. Like I don't think it's that bad. Like, I would rather be ghosted by me than poltergeisted. Like, it's ghosting. I just cut off contact. But poltergeisting, I would have moved in. I would have started to do weird and annoying shit. I would have started rearranging things. I would have hid stuff. I would have expected it to be like explained to every guest. Oh man, and I would have been a nightmare to get out. We've all seen the movie Poltergeist. Yeah, for like the next several months, they'd be like, "She's back. She forgot something." I'm like, they should consider themselves lucky. Doing them a favor, being single, which I really enjoy actually. Because I could be independent. I could do everything, except for like give myself a good hug. So there's the right amount of seconds of pressure I like to feel better, and I haven't been able to do it or find it. I tried with coworkers or friendly acquaintances, and they just get creeped out. They're like, "Is she trying to smell me?" Okay. So family and friends, great place to get hugs. So that's what I've like, go there. But then they just get worried, and they're like, "Does she still have Talkspace or BetterHelp?" So I'm stuck on that area. But I've been having a lot of fun. Even like on the nights where it's everyone's got something to do or someone better to do than me, I'm still having fun. I just take myself out on dates. I'm like, "Hey, me, you want to go grab a drink or 7? Like, what's the amount that's going to drown loneliness tonight?" And me is my nickname for myself. It's short for Amy. We're that close. And it's only like a bummer because all my loved ones are married. I like spent the last 10 years watching friends get married one by one. And I was a trooper. Like I wore those dresses. I stood for too long in heels for those pictures. I went to brunches. I went to showers, played dumb games, did it all, sent out so many good vibes because I care about post-marriage sex life. But I don't know if marriage is for me. Even seeing how happy they were on all those brief days, because I don't want to end up with all that dick debt. I know women don't always make out in a divorce. I have a few divorced and remarried friends. A lot of the times you just end up with a bunch of divorce dick debt, and I don't want to get fucked twice like that. So I just been staying away from it, which hasn't been hard. Female comics are promiscuous when allowed to be. Sometimes we're not allowed to be. It just never happens. But I have 3 cats, and between them, they love me about as much as a dog, so we're doing good. And I think like dying alone in a cat harem wouldn't be my worst plan. My body disposal, we don't have to worry about it. And then the cats are fed, don't have to worry about them. That would give me peace. I just kind of find something a little poetically meta about the idea of pussy eating pussy. And it would save the family or my state if I live too long on cremation and burial costs instead. They'll just have to clean me out of a litter box. I also kind of find this poetic because ashes to ashes, dust to dust, shit to shit. I'm actually kind of a piece of shit. I hide it really well. If I was a guy, I'd be called an asshole a lot more often. But I get like asshole thoughts and I just hold them back. Like the other day, on top of a tall parking structure, I saw this man and he was standing precariously close to the edge. My first thought when I saw this man was, "Oh boy, I hope he jumps." Oh, that would make a great story. I could use something interesting for Wednesday, sexiest day of the week, hump day. Let something good happen. But then I thought, oh shit, where did I park? Because I can't afford a new windshield right now. Like, please, dude, don't dash your brains out on my dashboard. Although that would make a way better story. My car insurance doesn't cover the sadness of others. It doesn't cover mine. Hopefully he just like gets a therapist or it's a drinking problem, whatever. Maybe a psychiatrist. They're the ones, the therapists that prescribe stuff are the psychiatrists, right? Like, see, I've been thought about seeing one because I'm like, I could use some medication for my depression or anxiety. But what like gives me the heebie-jeebies is the commercials where they're like, depression commercial, and everything is going fine. Like it looks, oh yeah, they're happy in the end. Then they get into the side effects, which are so depression inducing. Like, you'll be so happy forever, but this medication may cause eyes to bleed, vaginas to explode, torrential diarrhea. And I'm like, all of that would make me so sad. I don't know if it's worth it. But I love these commercials because I get a kick out of them showing like what is it that pharmaceutical companies think to the average person is worth your eyes bleeding, because it's like whatever activity they show the actors doing to like distract you. So you'll like it'll be, oh man, active shit, like they're walking a dog, kickboxing, just frolicking in waves. Like, oh man, my vagina exploding in waves is the last thing that would make me happy. I don't know what activity is worth potential torrential diarrhea, but it is not playing Jenga with my family. It is not walking the dog. It is none of that. But it's funny to see what they consider worth it, because it's, so shows you how out of touch pharmaceutical companies are. One thing about relationships too, that even though I think sometimes I'm so lonely, what keeps me with the commitment kind of issues is all those complicated C words that come with them. Like you have communication, you have commitment. I mean, like fucking compromise. Ugh. Like, those are just awful big C words for a cunt like me to end up codependent again. And I have a bad luck pussy. Like that movie Good Luck Chuck, but the opposite sort of thing. You've never seen the movie in Good Luck Chuck? After he sleeps with a woman, she has really good luck, which she'll use to get married, typically. For me, after a guy sleeps with me, they have really bad luck. Bad shit happens. They lose like their job. They get a DUI. Their wife leaves them. Just really terrible shit. And there are plenty of pussies in the alley better than that. All right, I'm going to bring our host, Jessica, back up here. And thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting Stab.
Amy Thompson, everybody. Amy Thompson. Woo! You guys doing good still? I don't believe you. You guys doing good? Look at her. She's like almost got a rosy little complexion. I can see that you're from smiling. That's good. I like that. I like that. You're lucky. You can't tell by the haircut. I go both ways. No, she was talking about prescriptions and their side effects. One side effect I got from one, I couldn't feel things. Weirdly enough, it was for anxiety. It was a med called Tegretol, and I couldn't feel things. I wouldn't do that. I would get like blood draws and all sorts of stuff. Never felt it. Not at all. It was really weird. I stopped taking that medicine. It was kind of dangerous. I was calm and I didn't have anxiety, but then I started getting anxiety because I'm like, if I can't feel anything, what if I know something's wrong? It was really weird. It was really weird. I think I was 23 when that happened, so that was like 14 years ago. It's a long, long time. The other one, the side effects, the one that always got me laughing was something called anal seepage. I don't know what it was because I never actually looked it up, but it always just like, what did it do? Did it just crawl out? Did it fall out? Did it, like, what is seepage? Like, I don't know. I do know, like, with being pregnant and stuff, like, you get hemorrhoids. Trust me. You shake your head now, but you have no idea. You go to the bathroom one day, you wipe, and you're like, like, the fuck is that? You think you're dying? Yeah. I went to the doctor, and they don't do it gently. They're just like, let's go see what's wrong in your ass, and they shove their finger in there and everything. They don't even try and stop. It was really fucking weird. And I'm like, dude, buy me a drink first, something. And then, like, I just walk out of there like, I've been violated. And they're like, no, you just have hemorrhoids. It's all good. You get those because, you've been pregnant. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like, people don't realize the amount of shit that your body goes through. I'm not one of those people that was like, oh, my God, I love fucking being pregnant. No, I fucking hate it. It's not comfortable. You got a little parasite in there that kicks the living shit out of you, literally. And then you get hemorrhoids. And then all sorts of other shit. I have literally broken 3 bras. They straight snap. Pew! sucks. But yeah, being in it and it's just awful. Like, don't do it. I say that and I have 3 kids. So this is our headliner, and let me tell you, I've watched this person in awe. They are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, there's really like if you have ever watched somebody and you're just like, fuck, I wish I could be like them, you know? It's the confidence, it's the timing, it's the everything, it's the storytelling. This person literally is perfect. That's why I'm glad that I am having them headline my show, the last one for the year. So I want you guys to give it up really loud and proud for the Miss Danielle Arce.
Yes. Thank you all for attending our NPR meeting. The sound is like so tight. I'm used to, if you guys, and I know none of you have ever seen me before, I'm obviously a huge draw. But I'm usually like very loud and very animated, and I'm very scared to do that right now. Like, it's going to shake the room. Like, I'm just looking at this place, and I think it's funny that there's a window on the ceiling, and there's cardboard covering it, because we don't need sunlight to come through. I don't know. It's weird. I just had a baby 2.5 months ago myself. I did. Yeah. 2 people clap. That's fine. You know. She just told you about how shitty pregnancy is. She's right. You know. Yeah. It's been 2.5 months and I already have abs. Check it out. Look at this shit. Look at this snap. Yeah. Look at the snap back. Killing it. Right. I got a dad bod. I say. It's pretty tight. Yeah. If you guys want to meet my baby, he's actually right outside. Yeah. He's hooked up to the bike rack, so don't worry. He's got some jelly beans, some Legos. Yeah, he's fine. Right. Obviously, I'm kidding. He's not there. He's in the car. Okay. The window's down just enough so the raccoon can come and cuddle with him. You know, little friend. No, that's not true. But I am going to shoot him out of a t-shirt gun right at the end of the show, so open wide. I'm getting rid of him. I'm a good mom, I promise. It is weird being a mom. It doesn't look like I'd be a mom. You know? I have that, like, I'm not keeping it vibe, right? Like, I look like I still shop at Hot Topic. You know what I mean? How am I a mom? My husband and I, we got pregnant last year, which I know is a little strange when everything about me says, okay, yeah, let's be honest. Hey, I married my sperm donor. That's what I did, all right? Left my wife for that. I mean, fuck that bitch. I'm just kidding. My husband and I, we got pregnant the old-fashioned way by accident. So. Yeah, oopsie. We learned that not pulling out works. That's what. we were together for 2 years before that, and we were just pulling out. That was the only birth control. And then we went to Hawaii on our honeymoon, and I was not ovulating. Yeah, I was not ovulating. It was 2 days after my period ended. And I'm like, we good, you know, like, you know, we good. No, he's very potent. That's what we learned. Because I'm 35 years old. Thank you. I moisturize. And I am Latina. And I went, yeah, surprise, we come in this color, ghost. Yes, thank you. I went 35 years of my life, nearly 35 years of my life, not being pregnant. And I was like, shit, I should have been a grandmother by now. And I'm not. I was like a unicorn whenever I went to Stockton, you know? I was like the queen over there. But I went that long, and I was so stoked about it. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Because it's like, I'm not a prude, all right? Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not a prude. Like, I've been hella fucked. And I was like, never been pregnant. What's up? And no diseases. What up? Yeah, felt really good about myself. And then what happened? I married a Mexican guy from Stockton. Yeah. Turns out that's one of his hobbies. You know what I mean? He already has 2. This is his 3rd, my 1st. So, hella Mexican. Yeah. Yes. You guys think I should keep him? I don't know. I'm still debating if I should get an abortion. We're not in Texas. I still have time. Oh, boy. I'm breastfeeding. I am, and I'm very thankful that I can. I know not a lot of women are able to. I've come across a lot of women who told me they stopped breastfeeding because it hurt, and that made me nervous. But anytime a woman now tells me, oh, I stopped breastfeeding because it hurt, I'm like, gosh, she ain't into nipple stuff. That's what I learned. Because I was worried it was going to hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was, like, worried because a lot of women told me this. So the first time I got him on, he latched on right away, which is also amazing. And he just started tugging. I looked down. I'm like, you can go harder, bro. Like, mama's used to it, you know? Hell yeah. Yeah. I am breastfeeding. I'm trying to think of my new shit because there's like 5 people here and that's fine. You guys are going to get the best hits. You're going to get the new hits. I'm trying to think about, like, there's like a variety of things that are going through my head that I want to talk about, but I'm like, which one should I talk about first? I had a very terrible birthing experience. We can talk about that. Jess was talking about pregnancy and how terrible that is, and they're absolutely right. It is rough shit. It is very rough, and that's just the constipation. Okay, that was a riff. I'm prepared. But no, I had a really tough pregnancy. I didn't have a high risk or anything like that. I just got everything that wasn't serious that you can get during pregnancy. I had no idea that it really fucks up your immune system. And I have an amazing immune system, okay? Like, I do crunches and I'm vegan. Thank you so much. Killing it. As soon as I got pregnant, I got a tooth infection. No, a gum infection right next to my tooth. I had several yeast infections. I'm sorry, sir. Honey pot wash, ladies. Okay. And theys. Okay. So yeah, I had a gum infection, several yeast infections. I got an upper respiratory infection as well. Yes. I also got COVID over New Year. Yeah, I had COVID while I was pregnant. I also experienced something called rhinitis of pregnancy. So I had allergies that are not fixed by Benadryl. Yeah, I just had to go through it. The doctor said there's nothing you can do. This is just what's going to happen. Fun, fun, fun. Great. And my nipple hair still won't stop growing. That's the worst. Right? And I mean, I'm used to a lot of hair. I am half Latina and half Italian, so by default I am Persian. But I was like, I don't need a second pair of eyelashes. These are the stars of the show up here, literally. Thank you. It was tough. My birthing experience was even harder. We're going to go deeper into the parts that I don't have jokes for and see what I can come up with, just like the rough shit I did before. You guys, that wasn't written. I know, crazy. But I went past my due date, so I had to go get induced. And if you're not familiar with what getting induced is, you go to the hospital. They give you a medication to try to make the baby exit, right? It's a medication. I was in the hospital for 3 days and nothing happened. Nothing happened. They were like, your pussy is a steel trap, basically. And they never do this. They're like, we never do this, but we're going to send you home because nothing's happening. We don't foresee anything happening anytime soon. Your body just may not be ready. So why don't you just go home, be relaxed, be with family, and then maybe the baby will pop out. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I don't want to be on this motherfucker because they had the IV set to my hand. And I don't know, yeah, oh, fun, yeah. That shit was, at this point, I was like, this is one of the worst pains I've ever felt in my entire life. And I've been through some shit. Look at me. Okay. So I have several tattoos, and this was worse, much worse. So I went home. A week and a half goes by. Not a thing. Not a movement. And what does everybody do when they know, like, okay, if you want unsolicited advice, get pregnant. Just get pregnant. That's my unsolicited advice to you, okay? I thought being a woman in comedy was enough. No, this is like 5 extra layers. Because obviously I'm always making jokes about my personal life. That's something that I do. That's my whole thing. I don't do topical stuff. I like to talk about my life. So I was making so many jokes online and on stage about being past my due date. And what is they coming out with all this shit. They're like, have sex, have sex, have sex. Do you have sex? Are you getting banged? Are you getting fucked? Have sex, have sex. Get banged, raw dog it. Oh, what? Let him come in you. Come, makes the baby come. What's up? Get sex. It was constant. Okay, I have a post on my Instagram that is several slides worth of people sliding into my DMs telling me to have sex. I was like, my husband is hot. Okay, we banging. All right. Nothing's happening. I did everything. I did everything under the sun to try to get this baby out. And I don't think people realize that. And I was still raw in between after getting my induction and going back into the hospital again. People were like, when's the baby coming? I'm like, I don't know you. Like, who are you? Like, go fuck yourself. It was so maddening. So I went to get induced again. I like the sound. This is like, I don't know. I feel like I can build suspense with this sound. This is fun. And I was in the hospital for 2 days. It did not work. What? Oh, yes, bitch. Basically, my cervix would not dilate. Sir, you're the only man here. I wanted to ask you specifically. What's your name? Eleazar? Eleazar. Latino. Okay. Can you please tell me, Eleazar, Latin lover? Can you tell, and I can tell you're pleasing her because she looks very flushed and glowing and gorgeous, so I can tell. Eleazar, can you tell me exactly like what a cervix is? No? No. Then see, men shouldn't make laws about our bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my 5th show asking, and there have been several men in an audience at one point, and they just nobody could give me an answer. And I'm like, y'all, let ladies be in charge of our own bodies. Thank you. Let's leave it to us, please. So I won't leave you hanging, Eleazar. The cervix is not. Everyone, I guess, assumes it's the area that the baby comes out. It's actually the areas right next, like inside, like it's like the muscles basically. And mine would not dilate. So mine, they knew that my pussy is perfect and that it must be preserved. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't open for the baby. They're like, no, we staying tight, bitch. You've been killing it for 35 years. Let's not ruin this shit. Like, it wouldn't happen. So now we're going to go into the part that I haven't written. So they told me, and if anybody here has ever given birth before, maybe you know a little bit about what I'm going to talk about. If you do, I'm sorry for the triggering shit that I'm about to say. But they were like, okay, even if, because you're supposed to dilate up to 10 centimeters for the baby to go through. And so just so you know that 10 centimeters is, think about the size of a newborn's head, basically, right? They're like, even if you get to 1 centimeter or even a half a centimeter, we're going to do the balloon. Thank you. Yeah, see? Somebody who's getting triggered. They're about to go outside and go smoke a cigarette even though they're pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's Jess is about to go do, right? Give her one, Mama. No, I'm kidding. Don't do it. I'm just kidding. Joking. I got one. You want one? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. It's mostly weed. I'm just kidding. I'm breastfeeding. But if you guys want to get high. So the balloon. It's one balloon on one side that is inflated, and then a small rod, and a balloon on the other side that is deflated. Oh, I'm so sorry, Arisa. This is going to be very graphic for you. So they take that deflated balloon and they put that inside with the rod, and then they squeeze the inflated balloon to manually dilate your cervix. Now, I'm a data person. Like, if people tell me, oh, you should try this, you should do this, I'm like, well, what's the research? What's the data? I want empirical evidence. I will not listen to your fucking anecdotes. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, when people were trying to tell me to get the baby out, one of them was like, eat pizza. It'll slide right out. Oh, when my mom was 2 weeks past her due date, she mowed the lawn and the baby came out. I'm like, are you sure it wasn't just because she was 2 weeks past her due date? Stupid ass. So I'm all about research. I don't want to hear your fucking anecdotes. But a lot of my friends anecdotally were like, hey, this shit sucks. You know, this didn't work. I woke up in the middle of the night screaming. I was bleeding. And I was like, wait a second. Let me look this up. It has a 51.3% efficacy rate. Yeah. With my luck, all right? No way. I was like, we keep my pussy preserved. We're not ballooning this shit. And if it doesn't work, then my body would probably go into shock. This is a thing I looked up. And then I'd have to go in for an emergency C-section, which is what everybody wants to avoid. And I was like, fuck this shit. So the nurse comes in and I said, tell the doctor I'm getting a C-section. I was like Joey from Full House. Cut it out. Like, cut it out, please. And they were like, are you sure? That's a major surgery. That's a major surgery. I heard major surgery so many times, like, major surgery. Thank you. Thank you. I get it. But it is the most common surgery in the entire planet. It is. So why are they trying to scare me off and not doing it? You know, I was like, just do it. Just cut the baby out. Just cut the baby out. And I started screaming because they were trying to convince me to do the balloon. I'm like, fuck this shit. 50%. I'm not in a chance of this working. 100% C-section. We're doing the C-section, motherfuckers. Okay. So we went in for C-section. Baby came out. Beautiful, wonderful. It was fantastic. Now, thank you. Yeah, they did it. It was like, they did a good job. You know what I mean? It's the most common surgery, so they knew what they were doing. So after the aftermath of getting a C-section, a lot of women, see, I told you, not a lot of this is got jokes because this is stuff I'm working out. Sorry. So they told me, oh, the first poop after your C-section, like, be careful, it's gonna be rough, you know, like, ugh. And I was like, so I was expecting it, okay. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm a vegan. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if I'm not pretentious. It's more food for you. But I just eat a lot of fiber is what I'm trying to say. I eat a lot of fiber. Okay. My poops are fantastic. Thank you. A lot of people experience constipation during pregnancy. I was still pooping 3 times a day. What's up? Yeah. But I was expecting that constipation after C-section. I was like, okay, no matter what, it's probably going to happen. But I'm still going to eat my greens. I'm still going to drink lots of water. I'm still going to get this out, right? 2 days I didn't poop so far, okay? Now, normal diet people, a lot of people that I know that eat a lot of meat, they're like, oh, whatever, that happens to me all the time. Like, oh, not me. I would have pooped 6 times by now, okay? This is, what? So, another thing that I don't do, despite how I look, I've never done hard drugs. Thank you. Yes. So I've never like abused pills, and no judgment for those who have, by the way. I just want to put that out there. I just never have. I've never been a Norco, oxycodone kind of person. I've always been afraid to do that stuff. But they were like, you just had major surgery. We're gonna give you Norcos. So I just did it. I just took them. Did not realize the #1 side effect of Norcos is constipation. Yes, bitch. So on top of the C-section, on top of the Norcos. So when they would come in and ask me about my pain level, they're like, what's your pain level? And I said, well, in the incision area, not much. I have a really high pain tolerance. So I didn't really feel much. But I feel like a stabbing pain in this one area. And they're like, oh, okay. We're going to give you more Norcos. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? I couldn't sit. I couldn't stand. I was afraid to push because then everything would open and then there's the floodgates. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is it. So I was like, oh God, it was terrible. And so my husband was like, the number one side effect is constipation. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Okay. 3 days go by. I can't take care of my baby. I'm trying to breastfeed. I can't sit down to pump. They're giving my baby formula. I never had any dairy my entire pregnancy, and they're giving him dairy formula, which is freaking me out. I'm like, was he going to get sick? Because he was also having some complications as well. So I'm worried about my baby. I'm worried about myself. I can't sit. I can't lay down. I haven't slept for 3 days, not because of the baby, but because I can't shit, okay? The last day, 7 o'clock in the morning, I start screaming, and the nurse comes in, gets a different doctor, this woman doctor. I've had a man doctor this whole time that told me there was nothing else I can do other than take stool softeners. Woman doctor comes in and is like, we need to give you an enema. I was like, thank you, princess queen doctor. Thank you, sweet angel lady. Like, you, thank you. Now, I have Medi-Cal. Obviously, you guys can kind of put that together. I have not been tended to. This is a general hospital, and there's no John Stamos. So they prescribed me an enema, and I'm thinking this is a medical grade enema. This is going to get me all cleaned out. This is going to be the best day of my life. Let's get this shit going, right? 2 hours go by, and I'm wailing in pain. I'm like slamming my fists into the wall of the bathroom. And my husband goes out with the baby, and because he had to hold the baby, because I can't hold the baby, screaming, can somebody help my wife? All they were worried about is get back inside with that baby. So they didn't listen to him. I start wailing. I'm wearing just a bra, the mesh underwear, and a pad. Okay? So you can see both holes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they see full bush. You know, like that's, yeah, I don't fucking wax. Fuck that. So I run out in the hallway and I'm screaming bloody murder. And then, you know, like 6 nurses run in. And I'm like, why isn't anybody taking me seriously? I look like a disheveled troll also. My hair is just, you know, like, whoa, nuts. So, thank you. She's not a comedian, so I feel very good right now. So then a few hours go by. The nurse comes in to discharge me and hands me my enema. And she goes, just do this, take this when you get home. And I said, what? I'm gonna go to the doctor. I'm gonna go into the bathroom and do this right now. And she's like, no, because if you do it right now, within a minute to 5 minutes, you're going to shit. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna do it here, where you guys are used to shit, piss, and blood. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this shit at home. Are you kidding me? No, thank you. And she's like, no, you've already been discharged, so we can't help you pass this unless you pay for it. Medi-Cal. So I go, so I also find out it's an over-the-counter. Fun. Oh, I could have gotten it myself. Get home. I'm trying to wrap this up. I do it, and it gets everywhere. So guess who has to clean it up? My husband. Guess who's never getting divorced? This bitch. All right. I'm sorry, I didn't have many jokes. My name is Danielle Arce. Thank you guys so much.
Woo! Wasn't that a bunch of shits and giggles, everybody? Danielle Arce. Yeah, I had the same problem. Well, actually, I didn't have the same problem per se. I had the once you stand up from a C-section, pancake-sized blood clots fall out of you. Yeah, and it was weird. You heard them, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And then I'm like, am I dying? I'm dying, aren't I? I'm dying, right? No, I'm not. This is normal. It's not normal for me. And then they wouldn't let me eat, and I hadn't eaten in 5 days. 5 days, hadn't eaten nothing. I was going to say hadn't eaten shit, but nobody wants to eat shit. But I hadn't eaten anything in 5 days, so my mom, being the lovely person that she is, she just snuck out and got me food. Because you're not allowed to eat until you fart, because when you do a C-section, they put everything from here up here on your chest. And so they take out everything, and it sucks. I was born via C-section 9 weeks early. My daughter was born via C-section 4 days late. And similar, my cervix didn't want to open. So apparently I have good pussy too. So There we go. And I am trying to what's called a VBAC, which is vaginal birth after cesarean section. So I am gonna try it. Weirdly enough, my family, we are Latin, but again, we come in this shade, like she said. And sadly, no one ever believes me, so I just fucking give up with it. But look, there's no hips. I don't have hips. I think not having hips is the reason why, like, it didn't open or something. And I have no butt. Not even in pregnancy. Like, see, I could get, like, good things. I just get big boobs and big feet. It's fucked up. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. Did you enjoy the show? All right. Well, like I said before, I am taking a hiatus. Twitch stream folks, thank you for being here. You guys, thank you for being here. I'm not exactly 100% sure when I'm coming back. Maybe in its year, it would have been its year's show, which would have been the 1 year show, which would be in February. So I might be doing that in February. I'm just really weird about germs, so that's why I'm cutting everything off. Just not yet. So thank you guys for coming out. The next show that you can catch here on the stream is Dear Abby WTF. You have Nicole Eichenberg and Dana Bryant guest hosting tonight, as our lovely friend Jesse, who's probably at home not watching this because I can like dote over him, has decided to take his health in his hands. So we're going to give it up for him and them. So stick around if you want to. And until then, arrivederci, dudes.
Thank you. That is, as Jess said, it for No Boyz Allowed, and hopefully we'll see him back around these parts again soon. But we're not done for the evening. Dear Abby WTF will begin in, well, as long as it takes me to set up the stage. So if you guys want to stick around, live in person folk, just stay there. Or see me at the bar and I'll get you a drink or something. People online, you stay there too. I can't get you a drink. You can get yourself one. You know what? I gotta set up the stage. So stick around. Dear Abby WTF will begin soon. Check, check. All right, welcome to Stab Comedy Theater. Forget that countdown, guys. I know we still have 3 more minutes, but we're ready to go. It's time for Dear Abby WTF. Please welcome already on stage your host, Nicole and Dana.
Wow.
Hi. Ooh, that never gets any easier. Hi, Dana. Thank you for being on. What's new with you?
Oh, goodness. I feel like nothing is new with me.
That's good, though, compared to some other things.
I've actually recently gotten to this video game where I get to go and chase people around as, like, a horror film killer, and there are real people playing the other characters, and I enjoy it more than I should.
Which game is this?
It's called Dead by Daylight. I think I might have mentioned it before. I've played it for way too many hours in the last 6 weeks. It's great. It's like a video game version of a horror film, and all the characters are controlled by real people, so I get to make fun of them. It's fun.
That does sound fun. I saw Barbarian actually right before this show.
Ooh.
It was good, but I kind of wish I'd read about it before, because holy cow, that was kind of triggering, but anyway.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But I guess without further ado, because we are starting late, I'm going to go ahead and start introducing people. Oh, no, but first I'm going to say what the show is. Right before the show, I hurried and picked 4 Dear Abby letters. Usually there's more thought put into this. And then we are going to each read one once we get the guests on stage and discuss it. Up first, let's bring on, I just met her right before the show, very lovely Amy Thompson.
Yay!
Yay. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You watched anything good lately?
Oh man, I've been I need to catch up on TV so bad. I've been RuPaul's Drag Race. I've been catching up on that all of the seasons, the All Stars, and that's been fantastic. Makes me want to go on and spend way too much on makeup though. I can easily blow through that gift card.
It makes me want to give up on makeup, so I'm glad it makes you want to try more.
Yeah. Like I could do my eyeshadow so much better.
I couldn't. But anyway, oh God, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Let's bring up Joe G, and I will figure it out as he gets up here. Thank you for being on, Joe.
Thank you very much. Joe G works just fine. That's perfect. So
Cool.
You're good there.
Thank you. What are you watching, Joe?
I actually just watched Hellraiser for the very first time ever.
Which one?
The very first one.
Did you like it?
I loved it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never.
Classic.
That one always just got by me as far as all like the classic horror movies go. Just never saw, but finally got around to it. Loved it.
Nice.
Want more of it. Good thing there's like 9 of them. I guess. So.
You can just skip Revelations. I couldn't even finish it, and I've watched every other Hellraiser movie. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll make sure I won't watch that then. Thanks.
thank you. I appreciate you taking my advice. Anyway, so I guess since we are starting late, we're going to dive straight into the letters. Who would like to read letter 1?
I could do letter 1. I'll start right off. All of these are so good. Letter 1. Should I read the title too?
Sure, why not?
Wake up and smell the toner. My husband and I have been married 34 years, and we are both 53. For the past few years, our marriage has been
Sorry, should have been strained.
Oh, either way, strained and stained. We have never cheated, though, and on each other that I'm aware of. Now, my husband is doing something I'm afraid spells trouble. A few months ago, he started helping his hairdresser learn how to use her computer at our house, at her house, which is close to ours. Then he decided he should help her buy a printer, take the weekly sales ads from the Sunday paper to her house every Monday night. I know nothing about it for the first couple of months. It just slipped out one night. I thought he was working a lot of overtime on Mondays, and now he's consistently 2 hours late, but only on Monday nights. When I told my husband I thought seeing her could lead to something more than business, he agreed. But he swears he only wants to help her because he admires her for raising her 10-year-old son alone. He estimates it might take 1.5 to 2 years to find the right printer. I say that's hogwash. I doubt that she's even looking for a printer. That is, I don't want to push him into doing anything if this is innocent, but I also don't want to be a fool and get dumped in the end. What should I do? Faithful in Washington. Dear Faithful, pay attention to your intuition. Finding a reliable, reasonably priced printer should only take a couple of hours. Wait, there's more. I urge you to do the following. Seek the advice of an attorney who specializes in family law. It's important that you know what the laws are in your state that affect the division of family assets. If your husband is in business for himself, you may also need the advice of an accountant. If he's having an affair, and I'm willing to bet he is, he may have already started hiding money that belongs to both of you. If you don't have your own credit rating, establish one now. You may need it. Begin upgrading your job skills and prepare a resume in case you have to find a job. Then give your husband an ultimatum, because you do deserve some loyalty, and you shouldn't have to share your husband with his hairdresser or any other woman.
This was surprisingly good advice from Abby, because we've had some really crap advice the last couple of months. But would anyone else care to comment on this?
I would personally love it if it was innocent and they were just spending all this time poring over Best Buy ads, just ripping their hair out. But is it laser jet? I don't get it. But no, that lady's definitely getting cheated on. That's horrible. Poor whoever that was in Washington, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny that she mentions that he could be hiding money already. It makes him sound like he's had this plan. I'm like, no, the dumbass already told you that it could be more, and that he thinks it's gonna take a year and a half to 2 years to buy a printer. That man is not hiding shit.
Somebody who comes up with that shitty of a story has no foresight
No.
whatsoever. He's got like a Starbucks gift card in the trunk of his car, and that is as big as his nest egg is going right now.
It's actually kind of funny, because it's like, I'm not married, I'm not a cheater, but I actually do have money hidden away just in case I need to get away suddenly. But
Who are you hiding it from, though?
Who knows? I may meet someone I need to hide money from.
That's true.
Maybe it's you. I don't know yet. Yeah. All right, Amy, what are your thoughts?
Ooh, I like how he just straight up admits it, more or less. Like, oh yeah, something more could happen, but I'm still gonna take a 1.5 to 2 years. Also, that he like tries to pull that shit, like, oh, I admire her for raising her 10-year-old son alone. Like, I just really admire women who work hard and are independent.
Right, she's not a fighter jet pilot. Like, she's probably working in CVS or something. Which, like, no problem if you are. But like, what are you looking up to here, man?
Exactly.
Like, billions of women are doing that every single day. It's insane.
I'm very curious about like what the year is, because it's like recent enough for printers existed, but like, was there an internet he could search also?
Right. And like those like comparative websites have existed for decades now. Like you just go, I want a printer, and it tells you like what the 50 best ones are in your area and what those prices are. You're done in 10 minutes. So yeah, I would be.
He says hogwash. I say that's hogwash. What decade is this?
Right, and she's from Washington, so I'm guessing she didn't grow up there. That's definitely a transplant from Tennessee, I'm guessing.
I was guessing like dot matrix printer for a minute, because those were like gigantic and they made the most noise of anything I've ever heard.
That's true. They might have had to contact an interior designer to see where exactly they can place this fucking thing.
Remember they used to make those banners? It was like happy birthday, and it took like 5 years to print the whole thing.
And
Your whole house shakes.
You have to rip the strips off the side of each piece of paper before you could use them.
Oh god, that was so satisfying, wasn't it?
Yes.
I love ripping those things off.
All right, any other thoughts on letter 1?
Man, she says, I don't know if they named their own letters, but wake up and smell the toner. Seems like she knows something about printers herself. Like, she should go over there and help.
I just love how direct she was, where it was like, finding a printer does not take 1.5 to 2 years. Like, you need to just hit the wall right now.
But then that gives me another question, because like maybe I'm just too young to understand this one. But like toner is what you put in like a business printer, right? And you use ink in a home printer. Like, is he helping her with a business?
Yeah, no, I think that Abby just doesn't understand technology.
She has people to do that for
right,
her.
like you just lift the little latch and push it in. It's not a whole thing like that. It all comes in one now. So
Maybe I need this guy's help. I've been trying to find toner for this one printer at work, and I can't. So maybe in like 1.5, 2 years, he'll find me something that will fit this printer. So, yeah.
there used to be someone who worked at your job who was just out trying to find toner somewhere. He's been collecting a paycheck. Nobody's seen him in 2.5 years.
Yes.
All right. Well, who wants to read letter 2?
I can go ahead and read this one. Dear Abby, we are 2 girls who are having a big argument. She's 17 and I'm 18. She's a virgin and I'm not. And she says a guy can tell whether a girl is a virgin or not by the way she walks. I say a girl doesn't walk any differently after she's gone all the way with a guy than she did before. We're both looking for an answer. From Waiting. Dear Waiting, you can't tell if a girl is a virgin by the way she walks, but you can sometimes tell by the way she talks.
Okay, I just gotta say, I definitely walk different after the first time I had sex, but anyway, moving along.
But it's temporary, not permanent.
Temporarily.
It's also alarming to me that 17 and 18-year-olds are like wondering about this. That seems old to have these weird like myths about sex. I don't know. Maybe I just got corrupted at a young age, but it seems like 17, 18-year-olds would probably know better than that.
And I'm pretty sure I know 30-something-year-old men that still think this.
That's, okay, but
He wrote
fair
to Dear
enough.
Abby.
That's a good point.
They didn't look it up online, but they wrote to Dear Abby, and you could tell Abby doesn't take them seriously. She doesn't even give it a title. She's just like letter 2, like they, and it's like such a cliche answer. The last one was solid advice, like you're gonna need to set aside money. How's your credit rating? This one is just a rhyme.
Right.
It's like, it's not true. Now watch your fucking mouth.
It probably took so long for the letter to get printed. The one girl wasn't a virgin anymore when it came out.
Yes.
Abby, I wrote you 6 weeks ago.
I am walking differently.
I just think how, like, the answer, like, I think she means it to be very slut-shamey. Like, if you've had sex, you talk dirty.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's really the virgin you should be listening to because she's going to be making, like, dirty jokes that, like, are really funny. And then you're like, but wait, that's not factually true. And there's something about it makes you go, wait.
All right. Anything else we'd like to comment on what happens after you lose your virginity?
Depression?
Yeah.
Mine was way before that. Anyway. All right.
Depression's what led to it.
All right. Letter 3. Who wants to read letter 3 aloud?
I'll go for it, sure. Why men shouldn't write advice columns. Dear John, I guess he was filling in that day. I hope you can help me. The other day I set off for work, leaving my husband in the house watching TV. My car stalled, and then it broke down about a mile down the road, and I had to walk back to get my husband's help. When I got home, I couldn't believe my eyes. He was in our bedroom with our neighbor's daughter. I'm 32, and my husband is 34, and our neighbor's daughter is 19. We have been married for 10 years. When I confronted him, he broke down and admitted they had been having an affair for the past 6 months. He won't go to counseling, and I'm afraid I'm a wreck and need advice urgently. Can you please help me? Sincerely, Sheila. Dear Sheila, a car stalling after being driven a short distance can be caused by a variety of faults within the engine. Start by checking that there is no debris in the fuel line. If it is clear, check the vacuum pumps and hoses for intake and on the intake manifold, and also check all grounding wires. If none of these approaches solves the problem, it could be that the fuel pump itself is faulty, causing low delivery pressure to the injectors. I hope this helps. John. I really hope that's fake.
Real car advice.
But to be fair, though, knowing about the car might do her better than with her husband.
Well, she's single now, so she might need to know these things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is actually surprisingly solid advice for, don't rub salt in the wounds. We all know what's happening. Your marriage is over. Here's some good car advice.
And if you like take the reverse of this advice, you know all the parts that you can fuck up on his car, so he can't get away.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
true.
oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Pull that country song.
Should have taught her how to cut the wires on the
Yeah.
brakes and shit.
Right.
This certainly took a dark turn.
You know, car bombs don't work if you put them under the trunk. You got to get them right under the driver's seat. So.
I feel like this footage will be subpoenaed at some point. All right. Anybody have any other thoughts or additions to the car advice? Or sorry, you are ridiculously good-looking, sir, and I'm having a hard time looking straight at you, so I'm gonna go like this. Moving along.
For those who are watching online, there's a very handsome man here live in the audience.
He is striking.
And now he's uncomfortable.
Compliments are free with price of admission. All right. Any other thoughts before we go on to letter 4?
I mean, I thought John was just a jackass, but now I think he's a genius after you pointed out the whole just it being really good advice thing. So, yeah, he's good.
When I first read this, I thought he was trying to make an analogy or some kind of thing, and I was like, so the husband is the car, but I
Who's the manifold? I'm confused.
I don't think the husband has debris in his fuel line anymore.
Ouch.
Oh, is this the girl from the letter before? Like,
Abby took too long writing back.
Oh,
I
dear.
gotta figure it out on my own.
All right. Shall we go on to letter 4?
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I read this because it kind of goes along with my job. So it's actually just like someone's response to the letter and advice. The letter from the mother, whose adolescent son was embarrassed because he had to take a lamp treatment naked in the presence of a young girl, made me see red. The mother said her son was 17 and the girl couldn't have been much older. Well, she had to be at least 21 to be a nurse. These people who think nurses and doctors take a personal interest in their patients make me sick. I'm a registered nurse. I'll never forget the time I had to perform a personal service for an elderly gentleman. I'm just going to start putting random air quotes in this. Because no orderly was available. The man shouted, "I don't want no women in here." I called my superior in and she said, "Simmer down, Dad. We are not women, we are nurses." Thanks. And a few years ago, I was in the room with the doctor and his male patient had just come from the recovery room after surgery. His wife was present too. Then the doctor said to the patient's wife, "Would you please step out?" The wife replied, "If that woman can stay, so can I. I can do anything she can do." Whereupon the doctor handed her a stethoscope and a chart and said, "Fine, we're short of help, so please check all vital signs every 15 minutes, blood pressure, heart, etc., and request the lab for blood work, check all output and intake, etc." She certainly changed her tune in a hurry. Signed, an RN. I just want to say, I work in healthcare, and I've seen probably thousands of dicks over the past 15 years. And I've been impressed by one in that entire time.
That's a bad percentage.
Yeah, that one unrolled. I was like, holy shit. But anyway, other than that, it's just, I dissociate. I'm thinking about anything else, but
Every patient you've ever had is like, I'm that one. I was the one. With your impressive dicks. It has to be me.
I actually dated an ex-patient once and it wasn't you. So,
Oh, no.
yeah.
Nice.
Did that, so first off, what the hell is a lamp treatment?
Yes, yeah.
I think it's like a photo treatment they use in dermatology. I'm not sure how old this letter was, so I'm not sure if it's some archaic medical thing they don't do anymore, like bleeding or...
We need to look that up. I would love to find out that they just tie them to a chair and shock them with a lamp that they found at Goodwill.
Yes.
It's like the worst lobotomy you can possibly find.
They leave the lamp on all day and then pull the bulb out and put it on your skin.
This works, I swear to God. I'm not even sick.
Maybe it's I think they used to in some of the old psychiatric asylums, they'd give people sun time or put them under lamps so they'd get happier, and I'm sure that worked fantastically.
That is the worst idea for medical treatment I've ever heard in my life. They just stick him under the sun and they're like, oh, he'll sweat it out. That's fine. He won't be sad anymore.
And my parents' advice was like, go outside. And I was like, now I'm depressed in the sun. Yeah.
Now I'm sad and it's hot.
But it like took me until the end of the second paragraph to understand it was medical related. At first I was like, is he getting a tan? Does he not know what a tanning bed is? Like,
I want to know about this superior who ran in and said, "Simmer down, Dad. We're not women runners." Did that just like happen to also be her dad, or is that just a derogatory thing she says to old men, like, "Shut up, Dad"? The checkout line in the grocery store.
I should try that when men try to do shit at my work. Just be like, "Shut up, Dad."
I get so confused. Do it. Am I old? I don't get it. Like,
okay, I did used to work with a bunch of like really angry old people, and this one guy tried to fight me in a wheelchair, and I was like, "All right, Grandpa, let's go. Get on up." And I don't work there anymore anyway.
Wait, you said get on up here? Were you up a flight of steps or something and just mocking the dude in the wheelchair? How did that work?
I was like, if you want to get on up and fight, I mean, I'm not going to get close to you, but if you can get up and fight me, then...
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Should have knocked his ass out.
And that's why I work in a place with stairs now.
Just run up the stairs.
Do orderlies perform personal services in hospitals?
For an extra fee.
Like if you're really stressed out because you just had surgery and you're like, I need some release to relax, and they're like, we can't give you hard drugs, but this orderly will jerk you off. It's fine.
Damn. I did have one patient once who was really hella creepy, asked me to come to his house and draw his blood. And my first question, of course, wasn't like, why would you ask that? It was like, well, how much would you charge? And after he told me, I was like, yeah, no, that's not enough. Sorry.
Yeah, he was trying to lure you into his house so he could draw your blood. Good move on that.
What was your, what would have been like the lowest amount you would have done it for?
$100 a session, no questions asked, no taxes.
What did he actually offer?
Yeah.
If it wasn't, because I was thinking he probably offered like $200 minimum to have somebody come to your house and pull blood out of your body. Like, what did he?
It was
want
like
to
$100 a month, and I was like, for the amount you're asking, that's like $12.50 a session. My going rate is $32 an hour per my job. So anyway,
Why did he want so much of his own blood? This was a monthly plan he was doing.
we have a lot of weird people.
Dude, I would be asking a lot more fucking questions. You're like way too passive about that.
I see a lot of shit. What can I say?
But I'm just wondering, is it for his own home personal use, or is he like, he's the like middleman who's gonna sell, like you come in and do the service, he sells it to someone else down the line, so he's like the middle part in this economic process.
I get the impression he gets off on it, which for the right amount I still might do, I'll be honest.
Draw my blood like one of your French girls.
But what does he do with it after, though? Like, does
That's
he
not
just
my
hoard
concern.
it? No, that's totally your concern. if you're involved in this, if you're pulling blood out of him, like, you need to know what he's doing with it afterwards. Because if he's like slipping it in people's drinks and shit, they're gonna wonder. That's gonna come back.
Like
at
before
you.
you agree to it, maybe you tell him he has to pay for the attorney services to draft the contract agreement, and then we'll look up how do you dispose of blood legally.
Hey, are you still under the bar now, Dana? Because
I'm still technically a lawyer.
I learned to not ask questions because I had one patient who was in special forces in Russia, and I was asking him questions about his history, and at one point he's like, "You'd rather not know all this stuff," and I was like, "Oh shit." Okay, and he was always coming in for like random weird ass injuries, and he was self-pay, and one day he just disappeared. And
oh shit! Mm-hmm. Luckily, I don't practice law, so I don't have any stories that I can't tell you. So.
I'm glad I work in a tiny, dank little office, and I don't have to deal with those people face to face.
Wait, what do you do?
Oh, I work in it's like a call center type thing. Yeah, it's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah. Be yelled at on the phone all day.
Yeah, it's a trip, man.
Are you potential spam? Because that's who calls me all the time.
No. No, I'm not. It's not that. I did work in one of those places once where it was like a legitimate, like, tiny little sweatshop on 20-year-old computers, and you're just like chained to a desk, and you're like, "Hi, sir, you want to come check out some timeshare stuff?" And they're like, "No," and they're like, "Well, I'll give you a TV." And they're like, "Do I have to buy the timeshare for the TV?" And I'm like, "No, man, just come get a TV." And they're like, "Well, I don't really want a TV." And I'm like, "Okay, well, can you just tell my supervisor you're gonna come get the TV? Because like, she'll give me $3 if you do, and I really need that $3, man." And then more often than not, I would get people to agree to it. So on the surface, I rocked at that job. But if you took more than 5 minutes to look into it, I was probably like their worst employee ever.
On a side note that's probably inappropriate for this setting, the call center at UCD starts at $25 an hour. You get a lot of weird people like the ones I'm talking about, but hey, it's good benefits. You get a pension.
Fucking A, man. I might have to jump ship. I've been at the place I'm at for 11 years, and I'm just sick of typing the same 3-digit codes in over and over again.
And I'll be honest, people in the call center take some really fucked up messages. It's like, I would like anyone I know can form a complete sentence together to take a message for me, please. Please apply.
Yeah, I don't really form complete sentences a lot. It's pretty incoherent. I mostly just sit there and get beat up until people get tired of swinging. And then I'm like, is there anything else I can do for you?
See, I feel bad because I don't want to say anything mean, but I also don't want to be on the phone. So I'll just like, is it ghosting if I just hang up?
No, it's totally. Honestly, like if you do that, we're like,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have approval now to keep doing that.
Totally, yeah. We don't want to say bye to you either.
I pretend to say bye when I get hung up on so my coworkers don't know. So I have a nice. Things went well on that call.
Well, no, thank you. My voice is very sultry. I appreciate it, sir. And a good day to you, too.
I get sometimes when I call patients, their wives answer. They're like, "Who is this?" I'm like, "I literally just told you where I'm calling from." It's like, I just want to know, like, is he still alive? If so, we're good. Thanks. So, yeah.
That's excellent. That would be a good cover, though. You should call them in like 1:30 in the morning and be like, "Is he still alive?" I just want to know.
Okay, this is another random, we have time, a really random inappropriate story, but a girl I used to work with lived out in like the sticks by like Georgetown up there. And one morning, like this naked girl with bleeding feet comes to their door. And so apparently her boyfriend lived up the hill and he'd kidnapped her and had her locked in the basement and she escaped through a window.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so like called the cops and they like heard the cops like get out your guns out of the way or whatever, and like burst in and the guy got arrested, and yeah, so that.
Oh man, did she ever let her in the house, or was she like,
No.
"Wait out on the porch, your feet are bleeding. We don't want that tracked."
Yeah, like we're not white
Good, I'm
people.
not the only
We don't
one.
just let people in our house. So.
Yeah, no, that's how you get like murdered though, because people show up to your door and be like, "Oh my God, I'm cut. I need help. There's a psychopath out here." And then you open the door, and then the psychopath is like in on it, and they bum rush you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that all the time. Like at night when I'm sitting up, I'm like, if anybody comes to the house, I'm gonna be like, "Sorry, dude, you gotta wait out there." Police response time should be pretty good in this neighborhood, though.
That's where I turn down the volume on my TV and then sink down and be like, "You can't see me."
I don't answer the door ever.
Thank God for Ring doorbell cams, though.
Yes. All right.
No one's coming to my door. I live on the 3rd floor, and we're gonna be like, "No, he's gonna kill me because I ain't walking up those stairs."
He's got a mission if he came up all 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's somebody who has a vendetta at that point, man. I mean, because if you're just randomly killing people, you're not just gonna climb 3 flights of stairs and then go do it, right? Like, you're picking someone on the 1st floor.
By the time you get there, you're like, "Do you have some water?"
Just haphazardly waving a knife in the air. Like, I wasn't planning on this.
I'd be like, yeah, you have a nice serial killer knife. I've got Cutco in the kitchen, so I'm gonna win.
I saw him cut through a horse hoof one time. I'm pretty well taken care of.
That was a little disturbing. Thank you.
No, those were on those commercials, man. You never seen that? They'd be like, buy these knives, and then they'd cut a deer leg in half and shit just to prove like how strong they were. No? That's it. All right, well, I guess you guys don't stay up until 3:30 in the morning watching infomercials.
Ralphie Mays.
Thought I was being topical there.
And this is why I got sleeping pills from my doctor.
Just right through deer femur.
All right. Well, I guess it's about time. We'll start with, I guess you're next to me. I'll start with you. Got any plugs, Joe?
Oh, yeah, next weekend. Oh, Willie Listens, right? We're doing
Yes.
that. The very next day, I'm on the Moving Van Show at a park near a zoo. I don't remember the name of the park, but I know it's near a zoo.
Land Park?
Land Park, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And then the weekend after that, I will be here for Strip Comedy. Which is exactly what you think it is. Come check it out. I'll be wearing layers, though, so it's fine.
All right, Amy, what you got going on?
All right, let's see. Saturday, or I'm gonna start with Friday. Yeah, Friday and Saturday have back-to-back shows at breweries. Saturday, I'm at the new, I'm going to say this wrong, New Helvetia, the one that's named after a font down here. And then Big Stump Brewery on Friday, the Friday before. Next Saturday. And then I'm also doing the strip comedy, also wearing layers. I think we're going to wear costumes, so I'm like, good, I could pack a lot under this costume.
Oh, hell yeah. I didn't know about the costume thing. That opens a lot of doors.
It does.
I like that. All right.
Petticoats and layer, all kinds of shit. Wings.
Yes.
Oh man, so that. Oh, I feel like there's one more thing I'm forgetting. But I'm so sorry if it's your show. Those three are the three important ones.
All right, Dana, what's going on?
I perform with the sketch troupe Squad Patrol every second Saturday at 8 o'clock at the Sacramento Comedy Spot. I'm also, if you are into competitive punning, on the first Friday of December, I'm back on Capital Punishment. I'm sure there's other things, but like my calendar's so ridiculously silly that I can't remember what else I might have. So I haven't looked at next week yet. It's still this week.
Yeah.
All right. What do you have going on, Nicole? Glad I think I asked. And anyway, I can barely talk. I'm very tired, you guys. I work like 12-hour days now, 5 days a week. Anyway.
Hey, let me do the co-host. So I'm here. Nicole, what do you have going on?
Thank you. So I have this show every third Saturday, Dear Abby WTF with Jesse Rivera at Stab. Every third Friday of the month, I have Willie Listen, which is music discussion. Joe's going to be on next Friday. And then I act on Comedy Yacht Club after that, which is, I don't even know what to call it. It's ridiculous. And then the Dr. Dunning and Mr. Kruger podcast is back with Chad Bogart and I. And then I'm doing other stuff, but I forgot. Nicole is just okay on every social media. Do you guys want to plug your social medias too?
No.
No, I'm all right.
now I feel like I do. SAC, SAC _of_ Amy. Follow me. So when I do back.
If I haven't
It's
met
worth
you in
it.
person, I won't let you follow me, so don't try.
I won't follow back. I'll anyone can follow me, but I don't know if I'm gonna follow them.
I'll follow everybody back. I don't give a shit. But
Yeah, I have pictures of my kids on there, so if you follow me and I don't know you, I just assume you're a super weirdo. So.
all right, I guess I'll give a very good thanks to Jesse Jones and Stab for having us here, 1710 Broadway, Sacramento. Donate money. I think there's a Venmo somewhere in this page. All right. Thank you, everyone. It's been real.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Get home. Get some sleep. Thank you guys for sticking around, online, in person. That is it for us for the evening. Come back Monday. Well, don't come back. Watch it. Watch it Monday. Watch it live, online. Monday nights, it'll be some Happy Time Arcade. Check out stabcomedytheater.com for the full calendar of events. We stream live improv, stand-up, sketch, podcasts, and gaming streams 6 nights a week, and we're live in person Thursdays through Sundays. So, online audience, where do you get to go next? I don't know. Who's doing things? Let's see. How about... Oh, why not? Let's just throw you guys over to Cinema Insomnia. Mr. Lobo and friends doing what they do. Hold on for the raid. I'll see you guys back here on Monday.